So a huge story just broke on the fighting game community, and it was the EVO president, and there were some allegations that there was misconduct involving underage boys, and he's actually been relieved of his position effective immediately. But we'll go over the timeline of what actually happened, and this is a story from Patrick Klepek from Vice News. So Evo first tweeted out, "We're aware of the accusations that have been made against Joey Cuella, and he's the CEO, or former CEO. The behavior in these accusations run directly counter to Evo's mission of building a safe, welcoming environment for all of our players and attendees. We take this responsibility seriously. Accordingly, Joey has been placed on administrative leave pending a third-party investigation." And there was an update that Capcom, NetherRealm, and Main 6 have all announced they will no longer participate in EVO, and Cuella has responded to the accusations. He said, "I'm sorry, I never meant to hurt anyone. I was young and reckless and did things I'm not proud of. I have been growing and maturing over the last 20 years, but that doesn't excuse anything. All I have been trying to do is become a better person. Once again, I'm truly sorry." And update 2 is where EVO announced that Cuella won't be working with them anymore. So EVO writes, "Over the past 24 hours, in response to serious allegations recently made public on Twitter, we have made the first of a series of important decisions regarding the future of our company. Effective immediately, Joey Cuella will no longer be involved with EVO in any capacity. We are currently working towards his complete separation from the company and have relieved him of all of his responsibilities. Going forward, Tony Cannon will act as CEO. In this position, he will take a leadership role in prioritizing greater accountability across EVO, both internally and at our events. Progress doesn't happen overnight or without the bravery of those who speak up against misconduct and injustice. We are shocked and saddened by these events, but we are listening and committed to making every change that will be necessary in making EVO a better model for the stronger, safer culture we all seek. As a result, we will be cancelling EVO Online and will work to issue refunds for all players who chose to purchase a badge. We will donate the equivalent of the proceeds as promised to Project Hope." So basically what happened was this latest allegation or accusation comes on the heels of many other accusations of varying degrees of misconduct that have been sweeping through the games industry in recent weeks. And you can watch my episode from last week to look at all of the other allegations, such as Chris Avalone and Angry Joe and people from Ubisoft. But it seems like everybody is coming out now. And the various allegations against Cuella were made overnight by Twitter user Pyron Ikari. Pyron Ikari did not respond to an additional request for comment through a Twitter DM as of this writing. So basically, there's a lot of more information about, and you can read that yourself, but effectively what was happening was that Joey Cuella used his position as the CEO of the fighting game industry, and he would force these underage boys to do things that they shouldn't really be doing, like for example jump in their pool in their underwear, and yeah, there's a lot of other more serious stuff there that we just don't need to go to, but you can read it for yourself. And I'll put a link in the description below for this. But this has always been a problem with the fighting game community. I honestly have to say, there's been many other stories like this that I've read about in the past, and this is just another one of them. And even as this story was breaking, we had other stories of other Smash players, part of the fighting game community, who obviously had their own problems of harassment. So just 2 other examples was Smash player Zero accused of harassment by Jisoo and sending sexual messages to Katie when she was 14 years old. And Jisoo writes that, "You were showing me explicit Craigslist ads of sex workers and hentai on the big screen and constantly harassing me at the Sky House when I was 15. And there's a whole lot of other information there that you can go read yourself, but that's one more. And then there was another one. Smash player Pape comes out about his sexual abuse by player Sinpai when he was 14 and she was 24, and there's a much longer post that you can go and read yourself about that. And honestly, uh, people need to come out and talk about these sort of things, and not just strictly to shame people, but to make people more aware that this stuff is really not okay, and people shouldn't really be doing it. And if you see it, or because it will bring more awareness to people who maybe at the time are not sure if they're being harassed or not. Sometimes it's a very gray area, and people don't know if they've crossed that line. And if people come out with these stories more, then it's possible for other people to be more actively aware at that point in time, and tell people to stop it on the spot, rather than having to live with the silent treatment for 3, 4, 5 years, um, before they can finally come out with it, and having to live with that as a mental issue inside them, and thinking about whether they're okay or not. So this is definitely a positive thing that people are coming out to talk about it, and I want more people to come out with it, not to shame other people, though clearly people need to learn a lesson, but for people to grow from this, and we can all learn from this, as a community issue, that we can't be treating people like this in this way.